Alright guys, welcome to today's video. We'll be hopping into more reaction videos. It's from Dory's story we're reacting to today, and it is called I Cry Real Diamonds. Let's see what this girl's crying about.
My name is Maggie. I'm 16 years old,
Okay,
and
Maggie.
I'm also quite emotional. As a child,
really?
I could never finish reading a fairy tale. The prince would marry the princess, and I would hold my breath, and tears would flow like a river. I can't go
She's
out
one
in
of them
public
people,
and
boys. She's one of them people. She cries over everything on God's green earth.
I'm terribly ashamed. Are you embarrassed to cry publicly? One time, I had to leave in the middle of a concert that my friends and I had been waiting a year for. And all because of a sad song about unhappy love. I sobbed louder than the soloist sang. My friends laughed at me for a long time. And now I don't go to concerts, performances, or sad films.
Boo-hoo.
But I couldn't even imagine what kind of story I was falling into. And all because of my tears. I've always been very weak and feeble. I was sick a lot as a kid. My mum worked several jobs, so there wasn't always somebody to help me. But I was constantly being prescribed expensive medications and vitamins. But one time we had some luck. A charity foundation found out about my poor health and began to transfer money for treatment. Maybe I was so emotional because I felt sad about
Okay, who gives three nipply nips about what this person does? I want to hear about the diamonds. Show me the diamonds.
my dad. I didn't have one. According to my mother.
Oh, we're gonna go down this rabbit hole.
I don't remember him at all, but I always missed him and cried constantly. Everybody has a dad, and I wanted to have mine. But my mother strictly forbade even to talk about him. I tried not to think about him and decided to redirect my unrealized love in a different direction.
What direction? The pet shelter.
3 years ago, I became a volunteer at a local animal shelter. This is where I spend most of my time. Recently, I had to find owners for a cute dog, Binky. He was so attached to me, but my mum didn't let us adopt him. I made a post on some social networks that Binky was looking for a home, and somebody
Does this even pertain to the story?
About 40 or 45 years old.
Oh,
was looking for
you know
a
what?
dog for
You know
his
what? I want to
son.
bet this is
Greg
Dad.
was
I want to
very
bet this is
looked
Dad.
tired and a little sickly. He immediately liked Binky, was an ideal candidate, and was interesting and kind. But you should never judge a book by its cover. Greg asked me about my volunteering because he also loved animals. He was a photographer and had long thought about doing a photo project about homeless cats and doggies. He asked me if I and some of our rescue animals would like to be involved. The offer was interesting and could help the animals find a home. I thought about it whilst Greg invited me to check out some photos in his workshop. I didn't talk to my mum, of course.
Oh my gosh.
She would ruin everything. Greg's workshop was in the basement.
Who cares? Somebody tell me. Who freaking cares?
We went to it to see the photo with Binky in tow. Greg's work was incredible. He shot random people on the street, but these were masterfully captured moments of everyday life. I praised Greg and his work, but then his phone rang and he went upstairs to take the call.
Yes.
The signal was terrible in his basement, he said. It was then that I uncovered the real Greg. I decided to explore his workshop and wandered into a far corner.
Oh,
There I found
really?
a photo of myself.
Oh,
I
so
saw
Greg's a
photo
stalker.
of me
Greg's
with
a
my mum.
freaking
It was
stalker. He's a stalker. Who guessed that? You know what? You know what? I want to bet this is
Greg
Dad.
was
I want to
very
bet this is Dad.
from about 3 years ago, when I still had red hair. When I started rummaging through his papers,
cared that you
I
had
found
red hair?
2
Who
folders
cares?
filled with me and my mother.
Somebody
It was
tell me.
like something
Somebody tell
out
this
of a
girl.
movie.
Who
One with a
freaking
crazy
cares?
person. I was taken aback with horror. Greg had been following us. I decided it was a high time to get out of there, but I didn't have the opportunity. Greg had returned and was already approaching me, my throat dry with fear. No one even knew where I was. I had lied to my mum that I was staying late at the shelter.
Has she
I
cried
was
once in this?
terrified.
Has she cried once in this yet? She cried like that one time when she like, oh, said boo, but there were diamonds. She's just trying to fill in words. She's trying to make this video 6 minutes and 46 seconds long, and it's
He began
infuriating
to
me.
approach. I started screaming, pushing Greg, and then, out of nowhere, Binky rushed to my defense, biting
Yes.
Greg's leg, which allowed me to escape. Once home, I began to weep like never before. Suddenly, I felt a wild pain in my eyes.
Finally.
Instead of tears, crystals dropped out. The feeling
Finally, we have diamonds. We're gonna be rich. Mom, watch it. We're gonna be rich.
I called out to my mum. She came in and shook the crystals together in her palm. Altogether, I cried 15 pieces.
Who cares how many you cried? I just want to know that you cried diamonds and the reason why. Why are you so messed up on the inside?
There was a knock on the door. It was Greg. Can
Big
you
Papa.
imagine? My mum seemed to freeze on the spot from surprise. He had brought Binky with him and said that they had followed us, or rather, photographed us in the city. What he said next shocked me to my core. I'm your dad. I didn't believe it, but my mum nodded silently.
Who guessed it?
It was true. In fact, Greg hadn't wanted to leave us. Many years ago, when I was young, he had learned that he had a rare disease.
Oh, so he's the reason.
Volatile amino acid metabolism and impaired kidney function. As a result, an abnormally high amount of amino acid cysteine accumulated in his body, which formed into crystals. He was told that he wouldn't last long and, not wanting to be a burden to my mum and I, had left. But the doctors were wrong. Greg had learned to live with the disease and even began to work as a photographer.
Oh, really? Interesting. I didn't know I cared.
Best as he could. There hadn't been any foundation for all those years. It had been Dad. I held back my emotions while he told us his tale, but after, I cried in all my might. Crystals came pouring out of my eyes again. Greg was crying too. I almost collapsed in surprise at what I saw next. The same two large crystals appearing from his eyes. We had the same disease. And I, like my dad, showed symptoms at a fairly adult age. All my health problems were at a genetic level. Dad felt guilty, not only for giving me poor health, but also a hereditary disease. But that wasn't all. I came back, not by chance, but because the doctors have given me only 1 month to live.
Okay, that's kind of sad, but
the
rest of the story pertained nothing to the diamonds.
I was on the verge of tears, but my father made me promise him never to cry again. Dad gave me Binky and instructed me that every time you want to cry, Maggie, look at this dog. Remember, life is beautiful and amazing, but short, so make sure to enjoy it, every moment of it. My dad left that same night, and I never saw him again, but I still keep my promise to him, and I live every day to its fullest. So if you cry at a movie or song for no reason, remember my story, and don't waste your tears in vain, even if they aren't crystals. Why do you usually cry? Tell me in the comments below. And
alright, we're going to hop into another video. I hope y'all guys enjoyed that one. We're going to do another video today, because it's a short video. So let's hop into that one. Okay, so the next story we're going to be doing today, also from Dory Story, is on my wedding, I found out that my grandma is pregnant from my boyfriend. Yeah. What I said too. Let's just hop right into it.
what was the strangest way you ever got paid in your life? My name
What?
is Grace.
What? Got paid? What? Who got paid? Who's the hoe?
17, and I received $200,000 to my bank account in a strange way. But this money didn't bring me happiness. This is how it happened. My entire life, I was raised by my grandmother. When she was 17, she gave birth to my mum. The father was a famous and rich man. He gave them money his entire life, so then she kept secret who he is. Every month, the money simply came into her bank account. At least, that's what she said. Grandma loved my mum and protected her, but when my mum turned 16, she was unable to do so. My mum became pregnant with me with a random guy. The birth process was very difficult, and my mum died. I survived and have been living with my grandmother since then. She is very young. She's only 49. She dresses excellently, takes care of her appearance, and has a level of health that can make anyone envy her, but she is lonely. Throughout all these years, her relationships never worked out. I thought that it was because of her uncanny personality, as she is hot-headed and wants to control everything. Until I heard
so she's one of them people.
Very strange
conversation. One of them people that are like,
Mrs. Bland, the neighbor,
we ain't doing this, honey. We doing this the way we want, the way I want, because that's the only way it's gonna go.
Said that my grandma ruined my mum's life because she had a secret affair with my father. She also said that my grandmother is very cunning and is ready to do anything for money. Could it really be true? No, I couldn't believe this. Mrs. Bland is just a gossiper. Although, such suspicious thoughts didn't leave my mind. Everything was revealed when Luke, my boyfriend, came into my life. He is very kind, though he is from a poor family. Every evening, I listened to my grandmother's hysteria regarding early pregnancy, the guys who only need sex. She repeated that if I became pregnant, Luke would be unable to support me and the child. He is studying, and his family has no money. You'll end up like your mother, she said. Though he and I were going to stay virgins until our wedding, and we wanted our first time to be special. Luke dreamed of finishing university and becoming a marketologist, but Grandma didn't believe me. But one day, her
heck's a marketologist?
Changed. She started begging me to introduce him. She would invite him for supper. It was so suspicious, and though I didn't believe the gossip Mrs. Blunt said, I was scared that Grandma would want to steal my boyfriend, as she did with my mum. My inner voice yelled, "Do not do it! Do not!" But she insisted so much that I gave up, and so Luke came for supper. She liked him. Yes, he's handsome, tall, smart, and kind, but he's also a gentleman. He brought her a great bouquet of flowers, pulled out a chair for her before we sat down, and spoke with her about her favourite books and music. Grandma listened with the smile of Mona Lisa.
I know y'all probably expecting me to say something stupid, something funny, something like that. I just wanted to sigh. I just wanted to sigh. And do this. I'm just kidding. The story is just so cringe.
Seemed that she was in admiration, but didn't want to show it. I didn't know if I should be happy or worried about her approval, but after some time, I understood that it would have been better if I had not introduced him to her. The next day she told me, I want a child, and instead of using a donor sperm, she wanted the biological father to be Luke. He was a great option, and he was in great health, while it was not clear what was in the sperm bank. I was in shock. No, of course not. But Grandma sternly said that if I refused, she would kick me out of the house.
What? What the fuck?
Take my name
Okay,
out
what?
Even a penny. But if I convince Luke, she'll give me $200,000 for the wedding. I didn't.
Are you kidding? Are you kidding? What? Just what? No. No, $200,000 you're kicked out of the house. What? So Grandma wants to get all jiggy with it. Yeah, I use the Will Smith song. Get jiggy with it with your boyfriend. Oh, or she'll kick you. Oh my gosh.
I didn't know what to do. The choice was being left on the street without money.
I don't know what to do
or
about
having
this.
money but a shared boyfriend. What would you choose? I thought up a plan. The next day, I asked Luke to give his sperm to a bank. I spent a lot of time telling him something regarding ecology and other existing dangers. I explained it by saying that various things happen in life and that it would be better to freeze it, just in case, so that we always have the ability to have a child. It felt like I was in a movie and playing the most important role in my life. And well, I received my Oscar for the most believable acting. Luke agreed. As soon as the sperm bank got the sample, Grandma had vitro-fertilization successfully performed on her. She said that I would get the money only when the child would be born, while Luke and I would be getting ready for the wedding. And so my grandma gave birth. The delivery was easy, despite her age. And you know what? She named her like she had named my mom, Anna. I received the money for the wedding, and when the day came, everything was perfect. My dress, the guests in the garden, live music, a dream. But with a terrible ending. The music stopped, and Grandma got up on the stage to the microphone, raised a glass, and said, "To Luke, my granddaughter's wife, and the father of my child." What do you think happened afterwards? I went through hell when I confessed my deceit to him. Never in my life was I so ashamed. Luke said that if I had told him everything right away, we would have solved this problem together, but now he wouldn't be able to love a liar. I pleaded him to forgive me and swore I would never lie to him again, but he remained adamant. Now we are getting divorced. We didn't even have our first wedding night. In result, my marriage lasted 2 hours. But the most shocking thing happened afterwards, when I was yelling at her as to why she did it. For money, like you, my dear. And then she told me everything. Ends up that the famous man who fathered my mum and supported her all his life died, and he left her a big inheritance, but she could only get it under one condition: if she was raising her daughter Anna. Of course he didn't specify my daughter, as his fatherhood would have been revealed. He didn't know that my mum has been dead for a long time, which means that she doesn't have a daughter. Luckily, in the will, there was no specified age of the daughter, nor any other details. In order to be able to use the money, my grandmother just needed to have a daughter named Anna, and so she got a crafty idea: give birth to a child, name it the same as my mum, and receive the inheritance. Turns out, my grandmother always loved money more than people. What do you think? Am I the same as my grandmother? As I did also lie to a person I loved for money. I want to get Luke back. I am terribly ashamed, but what would you do in my place? Say no to $200,000? Please write in the comments. Afterwards, give the video a...
Okay, guys. I don't know what to say about this video. This video was bizarre. It was very bizarre. But I'm going to wrap it up here. I hope y'all guys enjoyed it. I will see y'all guys next time. Bye.